This church was the first Armenian church to be established in Pasadena. Prior to 1922, there wasn't a single Armenian church here. And among the people who started this church was Zaruhi Getmenyan, the mother of Alice Kalousdian. And Zaruhi Getmenyan was the first woman who served on the church council of this church. At that time, you know, society was male-dominated, and all the members of the church council were men. And Zaruhi Getmenyan was the only woman who had the privilege to serve on the church council. Alice Kalousdian. I'm reminded of 4 biblical personalities, and she resembles all these 4 biblical personalities. First, she reminds me of Phoebe. Phoebe was the first woman deacon to serve in the 1st century. The first deaconess in the Christian church was Phoebe. And Alice Kalousdian served as a deacon in this church for many, many years. So she reminds me of Phoebe, but she also reminds me of Lois, the mother of young Timothy, who was the protege of the Apostle Paul. Now, Timothy's father was a pagan Greek, but his mother was a devout Christian. And his grandmother was a devout Christian too. And the Apostle Paul tells Timothy, I'm confident that your mother's faith, your mother's fervent faith, resides also in your heart. And for this reason, he entrusted him with positions of responsibility in the early church. And Alice Kalousdian transmitted, like Louis, she transmitted her faith to her children. She walked in the footsteps of her mother Zaruhi, and we're so happy that her children are following in her footsteps. Paul and Ruth have served this church very faithfully, like their mother. It reminds me of Anna. Remember when Jesus was 40 days old, his earthly parents took him to the temple for a service of dedication. And there was a prophetess called Anna. Now the Bible says she served at the temple faithfully every day. Alice Kalousdian never claimed to be a prophetess. But she's like Anna because she has served in this church faithfully every day. She and her faithful husband Suren are the first to come and the last to leave. Every Saturday of every week, they come to the church to make the necessary preparations for the fellowship hour. And then, when everyone leaves after the fellowship hour, they stay behind. Reminds me of Deborah. That in the book of Judges chapter 4 verse 8, we're told Deborah was a judge. Now think of it. Deborah lived 1200 years before Christ. At that time, this woman, Deborah, served as a judge. In those days, like Deborah, she always dispenses wise counsel. I've noticed her when she served on the church council and on the deacon's council. She would sit down and listen and say nothing. And then, whenever she spoke up, she always had a wise counsel to dispense. So Alice Kalousdian is Louis, Anna, Deborah, and Phoebe all rolled into one. It's difficult to find an individual that has all these characteristics. We honor Alice Kalousdian for her abiding and solid faith in Jesus Christ. May the Lord grant her good health and a long life so that we can enjoy her presence and her service for many, many more years.
Happy birthday, dear fruit. What kind of tree is it? Dogwood.
Oh, it's a dogwood, Tennessee. Yeah, they have beautiful flowers.
A tree is a symbol of life. And it's a fitting symbol of Alice's fruitful life. So every time we see this tree, every time we pass by here, and I believe we will affix a plaque to this tree, we'll remember Alice and her service to the church, and we will enjoy this tree, the blossoms it will provide, and the shade that it will give us. It's a very fitting symbol of Alice and her life and her devoted service.
I tell everybody, Alice knows I taught everything she knows, but nobody believes me.